All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew episode 11,000. Wait, no, it's not 11,000. 1108.
1100. Yeah.
Yeah, not 11,008. It's 1108. 1108. That's still a lot. That's still a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of episodes. That's a lot of something. That's a lot of doing something night after night. And let me tell you, you gotta love doing it. You gotta love doing it, especially if it's a 1,108 times you did it for free. You really have to love doing it. You have to be passionate about something. You have to have a passion for this. What is this? This is a 30 minutes of free that we've been doing since 2020. And I will say this that we have nothing but love for all of you and want to say thank you because you could have been anywhere else, but you decided to be here. And your dedication is what drives us to be dedicated to you because you are trying to get a level up. You are trying to get your securities license. You have made that decision to get on to a free pod. I like to call it a free live podcast, basically. That's what it is. You decided to be on this study session. You decided to be here. And let me tell you, 1,108 episodes. If none of, I don't think any of you have been here since like our day one. But let me tell you this, there was a time where we even got in a head on collision and we were literally an hour from that happening. We were on here and we totaled the car 55 miles an hour. We were still on here, probably minorly concussed, still on here. We were still on here. Why?
That's probably true.
Because it's about you. It's not about us. It's about you. It's about we know that we can't let you down. You have already made this time in your schedule to be here, and we are here for you. My name is Andy. I am the guy that is behind this microphone talking about all this great stuff. But you're not here for what I have to say, even though I feel like it's important. But let's be honest. The one you're here for is Brandy. She's got her Series 6, 63, 26, Series 65, and her Series 7, which makes her more than qualified to teach you all the things you need to know. So that way you too can walk away with a pass notice. You too can walk away with a pass notice. And there's a lot attached to pass notices. There's a lot to these pass notices. Some of you, it's a difference between keeping your job and losing your job. Especially if you work in some of these firms, you guys have a 30 day, maybe a 90 day. It depends. Different firms have different rules, but you have a clock and it sometimes one fail notice and you're out. You're done. You're out. And you got to wait till the next cycle to be able to be eligible to try again. And um, there's a lot of you on here from Primerica. That's our biggest I want to say um student
Group of people,
group of people, group of studiers,
members,
students, members, people of the congregation. I don't know. You know how your brain just kind of goes out?
tuner inners.
Yeah. I was gonna say listeners. Well, I'm like, this is not a radio program, Andy. But you know, this is our biggest audience that we have is the Primerica folks.
Audience. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's also a word. It is our biggest audience that we have and biggest amount of people that are plugged into our program. But we do stretch out into other firms, and we do have a lot of pastors who are not in Primerica, and we've even had people that have caught us on TikTok, and they need to pass their medicals and whatnot and everything, and you know they tune in for those techniques, or they caught Brandy doing some exam mastery amazingment.
Oh, I like that word
I
too.
know that's an Andy special right there. Caught you doing that,
Yeah.
and so they're like, let's do that. I want to know how to do that. I want to get that. I want to be that, right? I want to be that. But a lot of times, I'm gonna be honest with you. I talked about, I try to leave this 10, 15 minutes and give you guys a little bit of a pep talk. Because let's be honest, getting through this stuff is rough sometimes. Sometimes it beats you up. It beats you up worse than someone starting a fight in a bar. You know what I mean? It is just a lot. And we can study. I know a couple people on here have been studying. They've been putting the time in. They're watching the videos. They're taking the notes. They're doing everything they can. They're struggling, right? I will never market us as some sort of snake oil. You know, it's going to take some people some time to figure this out. Everybody is different. Everybody comes from a different background. Everybody has something that they have to overcome, whether it's studying in general, whether it's taking tests, maybe it's anxiety. Like some of y'all have for reals anxiety. Maybe it's a post-traumatic stress that, happened to them while going to exams that keeps flashing in front of them, that keeps holding them back. Maybe it's the fact they don't speak English as their first language and it's been a struggle. They have a little bit of a different kind of a starting point, because I don't want to call them setbacks, because there's no such thing, I don't feel, as a setback if you're moving forward. It's
Speed bump.
not a setback. I don't even want to say I don't want to say a speed bump so much as it is a different starting point or a challenge. Like you're just going to have to start at a different spot than some people. Some people haven't studied from the 1900s. Different starting point. Some people have a learning ability that they're just figuring out that causes them to study different than everybody else, whether it's dyslexia, whether it's I can't sit for more than like 5 minutes, right? That's a thing. Maybe there's other ailments that doesn't allow them to sit for more than 5 minutes. Who knows, right? Um, but we all have our thing. We all have that. But one of the things that I always talk about and Brandy always talks about, it takes commitment, it takes time. We've talked about this during the week, but it takes a lot of grit, and it takes a lot of you understanding that this could be a journey. This is a journey. This is a process. Some people come to us and they're like, how fast can I get this done? How I want to do this on the first try, and all these. Look, these are great expectations. Some people, I'm like, I don't know if that's a realistic expectation at this point, because we have a different starting point than most. But I'm never going to say that to anybody, because some people, you never know what roars in the heart of a person. You never know what some people are willing to do compared to others. So I don't like to do that, because I don't want anybody to do that to me either. Let me set my own benchmarks and let me do that, right? And then we'll go from those expectations. Do you understand what I'm saying? So everybody has that expectation, like I'm going to get this done in a week, 2 weeks. I've heard it all. And look, and some people have done it, right? Some people have done it. But some people don't understand that that isn't a reasonable expectation, and this isn't a knock on them until they get going on it, until they get started. Everybody wants to have, I don't know, what's a good, what guy has great hair?
John Stamos.
John Stamos. I don't know if the young kids know who that is.
I just popped up in my feed the other day.
John Stamos. Eric's raising his hand. Eric, I appreciate your love of self, but no, I was going more popular person.
Ooh, Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey has great hair,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Ryan Reynolds.
Right. But if I walked into the barber, right, I still have my hair at age 47. Thank you. But I don't have full hair like that guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And some people even have no hair.
True.
And to walk into the barber shop and say, hey, make me look like Patrick Dempsey, and I'm starting off with no hair on my head, it's an expectation that's going to have to be worked with.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to happen in the next 10 minutes.
That true.
There's probably a process that has to happen so we can get to that hair. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's where some of us are with our journey. It's not a lost cause. It's just the process of getting from A to B might be a little bit longer. Might be a little bit of a more of a journey than others. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. We might have to go somehow get hair grown on our heads. I don't know how we do that, but we'll figure it out, right? And then come back to the barber and get that Dempsey hair. But nonetheless, we could still end up with that hair. But here's the thing, funny or not, jokes aside, when you're on this journey and this process, some of you are going to get 20%. Some of you are going to get 30%. Some of you all are going to clap because you got a 45%.
Yeah.
And if you're that person who's clapping for your 45%, You have the right mentality, but you need to keep that mentality and you need to celebrate. I got a 47 this time.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 50 this time. I got a 60 this time. I got a 65 this time. I got a 70. You got to clap all the way through it.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be excited about every step of the process, every step of the process. And do you know why you need to be excited? Because you're doing it. You're doing it. So every single person who goes on to the brew, every single person who's in a study program and doing it consistent, every single person who's been taking their quizzes, every single person, every single one of you who says no to stuff all week and into this weekend, you say you're going to say no to things that you really wanted to go do, whether it's go poolside, whether it's a barbecue, whether it's your fifth cousin on your mom's side who invited you to a quinceañera to a girl that you've never seen, but you need to be there because your abuela told you to be there, but you're thinking about not going, but you're just going to go a little later. You need to clap for that. You need to be like, I decided to make these decisions because I need to do this, and you're doing it. You're doing it. It just might take you a little bit, and you might fall down a lot, and you might fail, and you might fail again, and you might fail, and you might fail again, and you might look over. Let's say we're on the Zoom. You might look over at the next Zoom box, and that fool just signed up last week, got a pass notice the next. And you're just like in that spot in your head where you're just wondering, am I that person who's going to get that? Am I that person who's going to do it? Can I do it? Am I even capable? And I'm here to tell you with Brandy and I, and as many of these 1,108 episodes, and then the years prior before we even did this, and probably close to over 2,000 pass notices we've seen, all ages from 85 all the way down to 18, from every size, shape, color of person there is out there, every gender, and every situation there is, whether it's sickness and in health. Let me assure all of you, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. Yes, I know what your score was, and yes, you can do it. Yes, you can do it. So if I'm saying yes, you can do it, you need to write on your paper every day, sometimes, maybe write with a dry erase marker on your mirror in your bathroom. Yes, I can do this. Maybe set an alarm throughout the day when you're doubting yourself and a little timer that goes off and it says, yes, you can do this. Do a quiz. Just do it. Whatever it is, you get through it and you just say, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, you can do it. There's a reason why I have the Hall of Fame up on the Instagram. It's not just to give flowers to all the people who made the decision, they got pass notices, and it's an awesome recognition. No, it's also for the person who doesn't believe, who can't see themselves getting a pass notice. You can easily go on my Instagram, on our Instagram, KonaButterflyz. You can go instantly go over there and you can see that I'm not lying. You will see somebody that maybe you identify with. You will see somebody that's in your age group. You will see somebody that maybe looks like you, maybe you're from your same background, maybe even from your same neighborhood. And then you can go, you know what? If they can, I can. Don't ever lose the power of belief. The strongest tool that Brandy and I can possibly do, and this is why I talk in the beginning, and some people are against it and some people love it. Let me tell you the reason why I talk in the beginning, because the strongest tool that Brandy and I could ever give to you in your studying process, in this program, and anything is belief. There is nothing stronger than giving belief to another person. And if we can give you guys belief and you start to believe, there ain't nothing that you guys can't do. Nothing you can't do. People will call you delusional. Some people will call you crazy. Some people will say you're out of your mind. You'll hear the negative, but listen, the track record, you can read as many books throughout history, throughout all the motivational books. You can read all of the self-help books. Every single one of them will all tell you the same thing. You got to start with number one. You got to believe. You got to believe it, or you just ain't. And I'm just going to use this cheesy t-shirt bumper sticker line that's been around forever. You got to believe it to achieve it, but it's the truth. Because if you ain't believing it, you ain't going to achieve it.
You're holding yourself back if you don't believe.
There ain't nothing. There is no coach. There is no hack. There's no program. There's nothing that is possible out there that will ever get you to get this thing done or anything done if you don't believe in it first.
True.
Believe in yourself on the studying process, and while you're at it, get yourself a why that's so strong, and why you do whatever it is that you do, why you get up in the morning, why you breathe, why you drink water, why you do the things you put yourself through. You need to think of that why every time. Write it down, have a picture, cement it, and say, this is why. So when you doubt, you know there's a why, and you also believe in it. And that's it. That's what you got to do this weekend. So as we do these test taking techniques, and we're going to get into a little bit of techniques and content, we're going to have 6 questions, 6 different exams tonight. Randy's going to go through them. We're going to give you some techniques. We're going to give you some strategies. We're going to give you all this stuff. But number one thing this weekend is you can't have a weekend problem. You need to stay after it, and you need to lock in with your belief and your why and make it happen this weekend. And if you have not got a program that believes that belief in you, and you do not have a program that's got all the stuff that you need, the simple, the connections, all the stuff that, and throws away all the junk that you don't need, and gives you a system to break down answers or questions so that way you can master these exams, has a community. We have a community in place, guys. You're not ever doing this alone. Has a community in place. If you don't have any of that, there you go. More than most people spend more at McDonald's than they will on this program to a level up. People will spend more on a Starbucks order in a whole month than will it cost to get some real help on leveling up their situation. More people will spend more money on ridiculous things that literally go down the toilet every month, every day, every hour than what we are offering here. Go get yourself some course videos, live exam sessions, all member sessions. Join in, join up. The more Brandy helps, the more it is. That's just as simple as it is. We got the books available, SIE 663, 65, 26. We got the Kona community, like I said, on the Discord, 951-290-3077. Give me a call, give me a text. That's where you can reach me at, or even KonaButterflyz at gmail.com. We got the QR code. Scan the links in the chat if you want to join up. We got a schedule for tomorrow. We've got the study hall happening. Look, you want to get a quiz on, you're having some struggles, you got that 30%, you got that 45% action going on. Do you know what you should do? Go get a quiz going with Brandy on that Kona study hall.
Yeah.
As you run into a question, excuse me, Brandy. Yes? I got this question here. Can you help me out with it? This is what I thought. And then Brandy goes, you thought wrong. And then she slaps you. No, she doesn't. She never does that. But she'll help you out. So that way you don't so lost. And then you guess what? You start correcting. You start getting a better idea of what to do. Brandy will never be that coach. Slap you.
No.
It'd be awesome if she could through like Zoom.
I know that.
I like to see how that hand goes through the screen.
Yeah. Sometimes when you guys unmute and ask me a question, I jump. So you know.
For anything, that would be great. Then we have right after that, we have the Kona Exam Mastery. Brandy's going to do a live quiz. So anybody that's ever been on any of these study halls, and she goes like, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, those are easy because she picked those questions. Like tonight, we're gonna pick some questions, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's because she handpicked those, so that way it looks cool. But whenever I do a live quiz, it totally sucks, and I never get it, and it doesn't work, and I don't see it. Guess what? Tomorrow, you're in luck.
You're in luck.
Brandy's gonna open up a live quiz, and she just does it. She shows you. Like it doesn't matter what's coming down the pipeline. I'm gonna do it just like you. I'm gonna break it down just like you should. So learn that tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That happens, and then the 26ers at 12. If you are in the 26 session and you may not be there, let us know. So that way we can maybe record it for you so you can watch it later. Otherwise, be there, right?
Yeah.
Be there.
Be there.
All right, let's get into it, Brandy. Let's do it. Series 6. Serious 6. Serious 6.
We're getting serious.
It's serious
with these questions.
Yeah. We're going to go, we call it the Serious 6 only because we're going to go over 6 different questions from 6 different exams, the SIE 663, 26, 65, and a Series 7. We're going to give you a little bit of everything. And Brandy's going to break them down like Charlie Brown. She's going to show you a little bit of content, a little bit of technique. So this is as close as you get in the free to what maybe we do in the live
Mhm.
tomorrow in the live quiz when Brandy does it on Friday. So if you are lacking after watching this and you're like, I wish I was on here more, I wish I could hear her break it down more, I wish I could hear some more of this. It's happening tomorrow. So just be there. But this is a little taste of that situation. You ready,
Yeah.
Brandy?
Mhm.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay. So, um, I'm just gonna do it. Never mind. I'm like, I usually start with the words that pop out at me instead of always starting with A, but I'm gonna start with A. So I see yes with approval, right? So yes with approval may become a number to count. Only usually we're gonna cross that off. Under no circumstances is basically like a never. So how about I do this? I'm gonna put an X off to the side here. And then it says yes without approval. I'm gonna say yeses without approval is a very rare thing. Okay. A very rare thing. It's very rare that you can just yes with something and then it not have any sort of, approval, authorization, or whatever. So in that case, I'm really thinking that the answer is A before I get to that question. And then I do. And then the question says somebody wants to have interest in having a broker dealer maintain his account, but he wants his name removed from the account. Is this permissible? Ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why we don't know what Kim Kardashian is invested in. There's a reason why we don't know what Warren Buffett's personal holdings are. Why? Because they're in numbered accounts. Because why? To protect their privacy. Because some people get influenced for no reason other than so and so has it, so I want it to. That doesn't mean it's suitable for you.
Have you ever bought a product off Instagram and you were influenced by it and you realize that's why did I buy this? Why
Never,
did I get that thing?
never, never
Yeah,
done
we've
that.
all been fallen victim to that, right? We've all got something and we're like, man, that was stupid. I'm not
What?
gonna do that again.
Right.
It happens with this.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So this one, look, this is where the little bit of content comes into play. Because I said, you know what, I'm gonna ignore this. And I said, no, I'm not gonna ignore this one. Guys, anytime I start seeing discount, premium discount, and then I start seeing the words yields, I'm immediately, no thinking, I'm just gonna draw this thing out, right? And I have current yield, yield to maturity, yield to call, YMCA. I remember. Yeah. See, anyways, so that's what I'm gonna do. Now I could go through here and I could really look at this and go, okay, oh, okay, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. Maybe for people who are new to studying, I might go, okay, this is a premium and this is a discount and this is par value. Nothing on there says par. And then I'm gonna go, okay, let's see, that says discount. So I'm just gonna draw this bar, that's that bar right there. And then this is premium and premium. So I'm going to draw that bar right there and then back to discount, right? That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just drawing it. I'll come up with the conclusion when I find out what the question is even saying, right? So I go to that question and it says which of the following statements are not true regarding. So I just got to look for the one that doesn't match, right? So I'm like, start with A. Discount bonds, current yield less than yield to maturity. Current yield, yields it. Yep, this is true. So true. Premium bonds, current yield is greater than the yield to maturity. Current yield, yep, that's true. Guys, I'm not thinking. I just wanted to say this. This is probably the longest question that we have tonight. And I'm not thinking. I'm just following the picture. Not thinking, just following the picture. Premium bond, nominal yield is greater. Nominal yield, current yield. That's true. That's my answer right there. Okay. Does that make sense? And then let's like map it out for you guys, right? Discount bond, the nominal yield is greater. The nominal yield is here, the yield to maturity is there. That is not true. Boom. Okay. We have not done a bond question in a very long time. And I remember I did not understand bonds when I took my series 6, but yeah, I got every bond question right. Why? Because I drew this thing and I didn't question it. I just drew it. Didn't fight it. Don't fight it. Just draw it. Okay. And it's not perfect. All right. Liquidity, typically only available to accredited investors. Yes, you definitely need to start doing that. If you say you need to start doing that, got to start doing that. High management fees, high risk, high return strategies, liquidity. Guys, this says one word.
Yep.
One word.
I would pick it. If I had no idea, I would probably pick that one. Technique wise. Haven't seen the question. Don't know what's going on. I would pick that one. And if I really had no idea, I would be like, okay, if the question has anything about cash or liquid, I'd probably really be good about that choice.
Right. A hedge fund generally has all the following characteristics, except I'm just going to not fight this one. I'm just going to go with this one worded answer.
No other reason.
Yeah, hedge funds are in movies, so they're special.
They always are.
That's what I'm going to say. We don't talk about mutual funds in movies. They're usually, when they talk about fund managers, they're usually hedge fund managers.
And it doesn't say anything about cash on there. It doesn't say about liquid or
No.
anything like that. It doesn't say that. But do you know what? It doesn't matter. I
No.
already just picked that on just based on technique. We'll go with it.
Yeah. And I just think that because it's in a movie, B, C, and D fit. I don't know why, but they do. All right, front running. That sounds like line cutting. Get it? I'm front running. I'm in the front of the line. Line cutting. Free riding means I'm getting something for free. Probably shouldn't be because I don't know about insecurities world.
Riding for free.
There's not much for free. Churning. We always look for the word excessive.
Yep. To make butter, you gotta flip it over and over again, over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Exactly. And insider trading, that means you're being sneaky.
You're on the inside. Inside information nobody else has.
And you're trading on
And
it.
you're trading on it.
See, you're
Does
trading.
that seem fair to everyone else?
No.
No.
You'll be fair here.
Yeah, Martha Stewart.
What the heck with this? Okay.
Actually, Martha didn't do that.
To increase her monthly commissions. So we're looking at something bad. Now I'm looking at the word increase. I like the word excessive. Registered rep has created a list of suitable investments for some of her clients and has recommended them to make unnecessary changes to their accounts with a series of trades. This activity is considered, does it sound like line cutting? No. Does it sound like getting something for free? Absolutely not. Does it sound like sneaky inside stuff? Nope, it does not. Guys, she's doing something excessive to generate money.
Sounds like a stage 5 clinger, right? Just excessive text messaging for no reason. A little excessive.
Who's doing that?
I don't know.
Just kidding.
Not you, Brandy.
Nope. IPO means initial first, right? We all heard about IPOs. Secondary offering means secondary market. Second market. I think of used cars. Guys, secondary market, think of used cars. Split offering means there's going to be two.
And we split it?
Split it in half. I don't know. And then a follow on is after. Get it? Follow on. After. Following these messages, we'll be right back. Commercials. Probably guys don't remember commercials. All right.
These youngsters don't watch TV live.
A company has existing shareholders, so I can get rid of my initial, and wants to sell more stock to the public. I want to sell more stock to the public. And if new stock, get rid of my used cars, is made available, what type of offering is it? Well, I don't see two things happening here, so it must be that follow-on.
Even if you never heard what a follow-on is, or you're not too sure and bought into the follow-on, just break it down that way. Map it out. We know what it isn't.
Exactly.
That's it. You know what it isn't. So what's left is
More, add, follow on.
right.
That was good. Good connection.
All that matters is you pick the right answer.
Exactly. Index options, debt options, American style, European style. Now we have a saying here at Kona That says American style is any time on or before. Get it? Get it? American, anytime, AA.
America's ready at any time.
That's right. And European style is expiration only.
In Europe, they do things a little different.
I like to think that Europeans are very conservative. They're very much a rule follower.
Sure.
Maybe Americans are not. That's how I remember, but that's how I remember that.
That's how Brandy puts it together.
Yeah. And plus the A and the A and the E and
Don't
the
hate
E.
on Brandy. She hasn't been to Europe yet.
I have not.
And you're like, that's not how they do it in Europe, Brandy. Who cares? In her brain, that's how it works.
In
And
my
you know
brain.
what? In your brain, it might be different.
Yeah,
Pick something else in your brain that helps you remember it
exactly.
and has the same thing.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
your brain.
I'm sorry, but the only just stood out at me. Which of the following choices represents an option that can only be exercised on expiration? Only expiration, the only E1 on there. Boom.
And
Test
if you
topic.
don't know that Europe and expiration date are like that, and you don't have that put together in your head like tortilla, beans, and cheese, guess what? Write that down on a piece of paper. It needs to be in your head just like that all the time. Expiration date, European style, expiration only, European style, expiration only, European style. You need to have that in your head like beans, cheese, and rice. Just
Right.
like that.
I think that was the last one. That was the last one.
That's it.
But do you guys see how simple and surface level, if you will, these connections were? Nothing deep, nothing deep. That's how you guys should be looking at this content. Nothing deep. Technique first, content second. Keep it light.
I relate everything to food if you cannot tell. Bean, cheese, and rice goes together like chicken and waffles. Goes together like, I don't know.
No, it does not go together like chicken and waffles. I can't eat chicken.
You're vegan. You don't count. You don't count. We ain't trying to start a fight
Right,
here. PB&J is a Brandy, more of her style. Chicken and waffles goes together. If you haven't had that, it's delicious. You're missing out. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Go get your quiz. And you know what else I want you to know? It's okay to fail. It's part of the progress. It's part of the process. Clap for every little bit of a movement you go upward. Clap for the fact that you're doing it. Clap for yourself for making the right decision to do the right thing, even if you're not getting the exact results you want right now. It is a process. It is a process. There is going to be some fails. There's going to be some headaches. There's going to be some tears. There's going to be some struggles, but you got to keep that positive mental attitude and you got to just keep pushing forward. And when you can't figure it out, that's when you get on the Kona community. That's when you get reach out. That's when you reach out to your fellow people on here, on the Discord, on our in our Kona community, as I like to say on the Discord. Say, hey, what's up, Brandy? Or hey, what's up, Kona folks? What's going on here? I don't see it. I don't understand it. I'm having a hard time with this. Reach out every weekend. You don't need to study alone. We got you. All right. We got paid going on for tomorrow. We've got the free coming back on Monday. No matter what it is, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you so much for being on. We so super appreciate you. Practice these techniques in your quizzes tonight and through the weekend. We will see you guys next time. Have a great one.